You get what you want when you do what's required. That's the truth. Most people want something, but they don't act like they do. They talk about changing their life, but their habits stay the same. They say they want success, but they keep wasting time. That's why they never get what they want. Life doesn't respond to words, it responds to action. So ask yourself this: are you living like someone who's ready? Or are you just hoping things will get better on their own? Because nothing changes until you take full control. Your future won't show up because you wish for it. It shows up when you work for it daily. In this video, we'll break it all down, how real people get what they want. No tricks, no secrets, just straight, simple, powerful truths. If you're serious about changing your life, stay with me. This might be the most important message you hear today. Number one, use pain as a reason, not an excuse. You want to know how to get whatever you want. Then understand this pain is not your enemy, it's something to use. Most people use pain as a reason to stop, as an excuse to quit, as a story for why they never made it. But successful people, the ones who actually get what they want, take that pain and turn it into a reason to keep going. Life doesn't hand success to people because they want it. Life hands you struggle, it gives you problems, it tests you. And pain is one of the tools life uses to see how serious you are. You say you want something, then show it. Show it when your heart is tired. Show it when the money's not there. Show it when people walk away from you. That's when it counts. Most people want the reward, but they don't want the pressure. They want the comfort, but they don't want the process. But here's the truth: you only grow when you're uncomfortable. You only grow when something hurts enough that you have no choice but to change. That's when life sees what you're made of. That's the difference between people who just talk and people who show up. I've seen people use pain as a permanent identity. Something bad happened, and they hold on to it for years. They wear it like a name tag. I didn't get support. I failed before. People hurt me. They stay stuck in the story and keep telling it like it just happened yesterday. That doesn't lead to growth, that leads to being frozen. But the ones who use pain as a reason say, that happened, yes, but it won't define me. They take that fire and use it to build something stronger. It's not easy. I know when you're in pain, everything feels heavier. You don't want to move. You don't want to try again. But that's exactly the moment your decision matters most. That's when your future gets built, not when you're feeling good, but when you're at your lowest. That's when you decide, I'm going to use this. I'm not going to waste it. When people wrong you, when life hits you, when things break down, that's your material. That's what you work with. You take the pain and say, this is fuel. And you don't say it out loud to impress anybody. You prove it by what you do next. You stay consistent. You show discipline. You keep your head down and your work up. Some people think pain is a signal to slow down, but it can be a signal to wake up, to change something, to finally take control of your life instead of just watching it happen. You're not meant to stay stuck in what hurt you. You're supposed to rise from it and build a better story. People will try to talk you out of your goals because they don't see the pain you've lived through. They don't understand what you're carrying. But that's okay. They don't have to. It's not for them to understand. It's for you to use. If you've been through heartbreak, through failure, through being counted out, use it. Let it remind you how far you've come. Let it make you stronger than the ones who've had it easy. You don't get stronger in the good times. You get stronger in the hard ones. You have to stop using pain as a pause button. Stop letting it slow you down. Start using it as your reason to go all in. You've already been through the worst parts. You already survived what tried to break you. Why not turn it into something powerful? Why not take that struggle and make it mean something? People who win at life don't live pain-free lives. They just respond differently. They say, this isn't fair, but I'm not giving in. They say, this hurts, but I'm still going to work. That's the mindset that gets results. That's what separates the people who make it from the people who always fall short. You can either let pain become your wall or your motivation. You choose. If you keep repeating the same excuses, if you keep explaining why things are hard, then you're feeding the problem. But if you wake up and decide, I'm tired of being tired, then you've just taken the first step toward everything you want. Make no mistake, you are allowed to want more. You're allowed to want freedom. You're allowed to want success. You're allowed to build a life that's better than what you were born into. But you don't get there by waiting, you get there by moving through pain. You get there by refusing to stop when it hurts. Think about the people you admire, the ones who changed their lives. They didn't have perfect conditions. Most of them had worse conditions than you, but they made a decision, a real one, and they never went back. You don't need more motivation, you need a reason, a real reason that means something to you. And pain can be that reason if you stop letting it control you. Don't waste your pain, use it to build your character. Use it to tighten your focus. Use it to set boundaries, raise your standards, and take yourself seriously. Pain should not leave you the same, it should make you stronger, sharper, and more determined. There is no shortcut. If you want something, you'll have to pay the price. And sometimes the price is emotional. Sometimes it's mental. Sometimes it's lonely. But if you refuse to break, if you use every hit as a reason to rise, then you become someone who can't be stopped. So ask yourself right now, is your pain going to be your excuse or your reason? Because that choice will determine where your life goes next. Number 2, ignore opinions and trust your own direction. Most people never get what they want because they listen too much to other people. They worry about what others think. They wait for approval. They doubt their own choices because someone else had a different opinion. But the truth is this, if you want something real in your life, you have to be willing to go after it without asking for permission. Everyone has something to say, but not everyone is living the life you want. You can't keep putting your future in the hands of people who are afraid to chase their own. Your direction won't always make sense to others. That's fine. It only needs to make sense to you. You're the one living with your choices. You're the one doing the work. You're the one facing the consequences. So you better trust your judgment. Too many people delay their progress because someone questioned their plan. You don't need a crowd behind you to move forward. You just need clarity in your mind and strength in your steps. That's what gets you what you want. Opinions are cheap. They're everywhere. People will tell you what's safe, what's easy, what's popular, but rarely will they tell you to take risks, to believe in your own path, to stick with what you feel deep inside. That's your job, your responsibility. If you let every voice shake your focus, you'll never reach your goal. If you want to move forward, you must build the habit of listening to yourself more than to others. That's how confidence is built, by acting on your own thoughts and learning from the results. There are people in your life who mean well but speak from fear. They think they're helping you by warning you or doubting you, but most of the time they're just projecting their own limitations. That's why you can't base your direction on their opinions. If you want something different, you'll have to do things differently. You'll have to take steps others are too afraid to take. That's where growth happens, when you stop explaining and start walking your own road, no matter who questions it. It's not easy to shut out noise, especially when it's coming from people you care about. But if you always listen to them instead of to yourself, you'll lose track of your vision. And that's a painful place to be. Waking up years later and realizing you were living someone else's plan, you owe it to yourself to build a life that reflects your values, not their doubts. This doesn't mean becoming arrogant. It means becoming responsible for your direction. You take charge of your decisions and live with intention. Every time you ignore your own instincts because of someone else's opinion, you weaken your belief in yourself. That belief is your foundation. Without it, you'll hesitate, you'll second guess, you'll keep asking others what they think instead of listening to what you already know. But the more you practice trusting yourself, the more that belief grows, and once it's strong enough, opinions won't shake you anymore. You'll hear them, but they won't control you. You'll be guided by something stronger, your purpose, your values, your own voice. People who get what they want are not the loudest or the smartest. They're the most committed to their path. They know what they want, and they protect that vision. They're not swayed by critics. They're not chasing approval. They're focused. And that kind of focus makes them unstoppable. You can have that too, but it starts with choosing your own direction and standing by it, even when it's unpopular, even when it's lonely. That's the price of getting what most people never will. You don't have to announce your every move. You don't need to defend your dreams. Let your results speak for themselves. Let your growth do the talking. The people who once doubted you will eventually watch you succeed, not because you argued with them, but because you ignored the noise and kept moving. That's how winners do it. They don't need applause at the beginning. They're focused on finishing what they started. And that focus comes from trusting their own choices more than anyone else's. If you're always waiting for agreement, you'll be waiting forever. People change their minds, they see things differently. That's not your problem. Your job is to stay committed. Stay connected to your reason. Stop asking everyone if you're on the right path. If you feel it's right and it moves you forward, then keep going. Adjust when necessary, but never let someone's doubt shake your entire direction. That's how people lose years following advice that was never meant for them. You will get what you want when you stop asking for permission to want it. That's the shift. That's when things start changing. You stop explaining yourself. You stop doubting your steps. You take full control of your choices and stop giving weight to voices that haven't walked your path. You've got everything you need to move forward already inside you. Now it's time to act like it. Trust yourself. Move forward. Ignore the noise. That's how real progress begins. Number 3, master the skills that make your goal non-negotiable. If you really want to get what you want, you must stop hoping for luck and start mastering the exact skills that get you there. Most people don't lack desire, they lack ability. They want something, but they haven't trained themselves to deserve it. Wanting something doesn't make it yours. You have to earn it by becoming someone who can deliver real value. That's how life works. The people who win are the people who become good at what matters. They invest their time in learning, practicing, and improving until no one can ignore what they bring to the table. There's no shortcut to mastery. It takes hours. It takes repetition. It takes focus. And most of all, it takes hunger. You have to be hungry enough to stay with the process when it's boring, when no one's watching, and when progress feels slow. People who achieve what they want aren't waiting to feel ready. They're training every single day. They're building their foundation. They're working behind the scenes while others waste time on distractions. And in the end, it shows. Mastery doesn't lie, it speaks for itself. The ones who have it always rise. Look at anyone who's built something meaningful. You'll find a pattern. They took one thing and they got great at it. They didn't chase everything. They didn't keep switching directions. They chose their goal and asked a simple question: what skills make this possible? Then they went all in on those skills. They didn't wait for motivation. They built habits. They studied. They practiced. They failed. And they kept going. That's how goals go from wishes to plans. When you master the skills, the outcome becomes predictable. You can't treat learning like a side task. It has to be part of your identity. If you want something badly enough, you must train like your future depends on it, because it does. You must stop thinking of effort as optional. Effort is the price. You don't get the reward without paying it in full. When you make your growth non-negotiable, you automatically raise your standards. You stop tolerating weak habits. You stop making excuses. You start acting like the person who already has what you're chasing. A goal becomes non-negotiable when you've built too much skill to fail. That's when people start paying attention. That's when opportunities start coming your way, not because you begged for them, but because you're now prepared. Skill forces doors open. You don't have to ask for a seat at the table. When you bring something no one else can, you become necessary. That's the goal, to make yourself so good at what matters that your presence is not optional. You earn your way forward step by step. Discipline is what builds skill, not talent, not luck, not background. Discipline, the willingness to show up even when you don't feel like it, the decision to stay consistent when no one's clapping for you. That's what separates the people who get what they want from the people who always stay behind. You can't cheat skill. You can't fake repetition. You either do the work or you don't. And if you're not doing the work, you shouldn't expect the reward. It's that simple. Life respects preparation. Think about the people you admire, the ones you watch, read, or follow. They weren't born with what they have. They built it. They practiced when others were distracted. They read when others scrolled. They listened when others talked. They repeated the basics until the basics became automatic. And now what looks easy to you took them years to develop. That's the price of skill. It's paid in hours you'll never see. But once it's paid, it pays back forever. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be good enough that no one can deny your progress. Every day, you should be adding something to your toolbox one skill. One improvement, one fix. It adds up over time. It changes how you see yourself. You start trusting your ability. You stop feeling like an imposter. You start walking into rooms like you belong there, not because someone told you, but because you know you've earned it. Mastery gives you peace of mind. It gives you control. The reason most people feel stuck is not because they're unlucky, it's because they're not prepared. They're chasing big goals with weak skills. They want success but haven't done the work to handle it. So even when opportunity shows,